We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 121. Today we're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about poker, politics, and whatever else y'all want to talk about. The Mouthpiece is next. Whoa, yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. I just want to apologize for missing the first 2 weeks of the football season because this idiot, Danny next to me had to go. What the fuck did you have to do?
I had to go watch my daughter play soccer.
He had to go watch his daughter play soccer. This fucking guy's so overpaid, and he had to watch his daughter play soccer. Then he had to go on like a 7-day. What did you do the first 7 days?
Went and visited my son in Florida.
He went and visited his son in Florida. Can you imagine him putting his son and his granddaughter and his daughter in front of me? I mean, what in the fuck is wrong with this guy? Anyways, I want to apologize for that. So, week 3 of the NFL season is upon us. Very interesting. Hey, dummy, this thing just unlogged, and now it won't log back in. I didn't touch it. Don't ask me. Or maybe I'll just click on this.
Try to go back. Your chat, you mean?
Yeah. All right, there we go. And anyways, so I'm 2.5-0 on my picks of the week. I picked Cleveland in week 1 as my pick of the week. I picked the Titans last week as my pick of the week. I also threw out a Chiefs as my secondary pick of the week. So we're basically 3-0 through 2 weeks. This is the best start we've had in 3 years. Last year, I think we ended up going 12-6, not mistaken, but we started off like 1-3, so we really finished strong. So good news is the bad news is in my pick'em contest, I'm somehow 5-5 with like 45 points, and there's people that are 5-5 that got like 75 points out of 110. But for some reason, even though my pick of the weeks and my top picks have been winning, I end up changing the number from a 10 on down because the lines change on Sunday morning, and I end up getting like, I took 3.5 with the Titans last week, and it went down to 2.5. So I changed. I lowered it as my pick. And the Chiefs, which I laid 3 on, went to 3.5, so I lowered it as my pick. So that's kind of what's gone on. It's I've told you guys I quit betting, and I have. I've made $2,000 bets in the season so far. I know some of you idiots on the rail will be like, "Oh, that's not quit betting. You're still betting." Now, if I bet $1,000 a game every game the rest of my life, I can't go broke. But I would never do that because I know that $1,000 a game leads to $2,000 a game, leads to $3,000 a game, leads to $5,000 a game, leads to $10 a game, leads to $20 a game, leads to me going broke. So, if I bet 1 or 2 games a week for fun, I do well. Now, we have not had a podcast since I released my my picks, and for some of you that don't know, because I don't bet anymore, I make big preseason picks on win totals, and so I'm gonna let you all in on what we got. If you're, I tweeted them out, but a lot of people that don't follow me on Twitter that didn't get them. So here we go. We have Are you guys ready? So these are my preseason picks. And I was thinking about that, Brian, on the Poker Masters, but I've been really dealing with trying to go into physical therapy, trying to get myself out of pain, and I'm really committed to hardcore physical therapy for 3 months. We're going to talk about that and my health here in a minute. This is what we got. I have 5K to win 5K. Broncos under 8.5 minus $1.40. This bet looks like my very best bet of all so far. We have Washington over 6.5 minus 110 for 5K. They came out of the gate 2-0. This bet looks absolutely fantastic. We're going to go to this one. We're going to skip this one because this looks like a losing bet, but we're going to go to that after. We have Tennessee over 7.5 minus 1.25. Now, this is this game really kind of decides on the game this week against the Browns. Tennessee, I knew had a great defense, and I thought signing Hopkins would really help them on offense to go with Derrick Henry. They're 1-1. They could be 0-2. They could be 2-0. Over 7.5. I really like this bet. Now, when I made the Tennessee bet, it was really contingent on them going 2-4 in the first 6 weeks. This first 6 games is absolutely brutal, and it's kind of a weak division. After the first 6 games, they'll if they don't, that's why it was important on this bet to go at least 2-4, because if they're 1-5 or 0-6 on the first 6 games, they might just trade Derrick Henry, they might just trade Tannehill, might just trade everybody. So this bet was basically, can they go 2-4 in the first 6 weeks or 3-3? If they do, they're a lock over 7.5, barring any injuries. Seattle over 9. A lot of people thought was a really bad bet I took. I took plus 120 for 5K. I expected them to be 1-1 after the first 2 weeks, except I expected them to beat the Rams and lose to Detroit. So we're sitting right where they are, right where we're supposed to be with Seattle. I really think Seattle's really good. Right now, their defense looks like shit. But if you remember last year, the first 4 weeks, their defense was terrible, and they just really improved and became one of the best defensive teams the last 6 weeks. This is we also have 5K under 7.5 on Carolina, minus $1.40. This is one of my top picks. Also, I thought Bryce Young would struggle. They're 0-2. He looks like shit. I hate the fact that Andy Dalton is playing this week. I mean, he's a veteran. He's going to make it a lot tougher for Seattle this week. I would have really liked Bryce Young in there. I really thought he'd struggle this year. And Andy Dalton, believe it or not, is an upgrade to Bryce Young at this point. And then we threw in at the last second Cincinnati under 11.5, 7K to win 5K. I literally made this bet with 2 minutes to go, maybe a minute and a half before the season kicked off, and that looks really good. Now let's go to the one that looks really bad. The Bears over 7.5 minus 115 for 5K. There's zero chance that the Bears go win 8 games. I really thought they were going to take a step forward. I thought Justin Fields looked so good when he got protection last year. And, coming out, if you've been listening to the podcast, I said 3 years ago, I was just raving that Justin Fields is going to be a complete flop in the NFL. And then I liked a lot of good things I saw for him last year, and I changed my mind, went over, and I looked dead. Don't be surprised if the Bears beat KC this week. You could say they're the worst team in football, but are they really? They had a bad week one. They were down 20-17 getting the ball with a minute and a half to go. They'd only given up 20 to Tampa Bay, who's got a great defense. They had the stupid pick at the end there. And yes, Justin Fields looks like shit. But, they're not. I don't think they're as bad as you think they are. But I think they're dead. Now comes the bet that that I kind of went all in on. I went under Colts 7.5, lay $1.90. I laid almost 2-1 to win $10K. I just felt Anthony Richardson, who couldn't throw the ball in college, wasn't going to win 8 games and go 8-9 in his rookie year with the Colts team that really didn't look good at all. And with Taylor being out, I just felt like this was the best pick. Now, this number was 6.5. I bought it up to 7.5. I really thought the Colts would be the worst team in football, and through 2 weeks, they easily could be 2-0. I mean, they gave away the game to the Jags. So I'm very worried about this pick. They play Baltimore this week. I'm not sure if Anthony Richardson's going to play, but if he doesn't, Minshew looked fantastic against Houston last week. And Baltimore could come flat coming off a big division road win over Cincinnati. So, they got a 2-game lead over Cincinnati plus the tie break. That's huge. So the Pittsburgh Steelers look like shit. Cleveland just lost Chubbs. This could be, I'm just a little worried about a letdown spot here. So those are my picks. I basically, it looks like, things look really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 look great, really good. 1 looks like a total loser in the Bears. Tennessee, it really depends how they do this week, I think. They have to be 2-4 after 6 weeks. And then my big bet, I'm a little worried how the Colts look really good through 2 weeks. So that's it's still going to be tough to win 8 games in the NFL. Maybe they win 2 in their division against Houston, and now they got to find 5 other wins somewhere. So we'll see. Those are my picks. I kind of like it, but it really doesn't really matter. Like if I lose the Indy bet, which is kind of like 4 times bigger than the rest of them, then even if I go 5-1 on the rest of them, I'm going to break even or lose a couple of thousand. So, the Jags, they have not looked good. They have not looked good at all. They really should be 0-2. Indy fucking smashed them in the mouth. I don't even know. Not only did they win and cover that first game, they won and covered, but they weren't the best team. They've looked like shit there. But the thing is the Jags were missing 2 offensive linemen in week 1. They lost another one in week 1, and so they're missing 3 in week 2. And as you saw in my tweet that I put out, why I like the Chiefs so much is, I thought that they would struggle to score missing 3 offensive linemen, and they did. So, that's the NFL. We could talk about my pick of the week right now, or we could talk about poker. Let's see. So, poker has been interesting. I really didn't play that much. And I kind of got myself in a little bit of trouble, and I had to take a little time out because, well, I won this pot where I knew the guy had 3 5s, and it went bet and raise in front of me, and I had Jack 5, and he had raised pre-flop, and I was really worried that he was full, or he had a ace 5 because he had raised pre, and I don't know. I took an extra 6-7 seconds to call. He ended up having 5-6, and I won a really big pot. But you know, I maybe I should have just called quicker. I don't know. Anyways, so I really haven't played that much. I won like 20,000 last week and 16 the week before. I think I'm up 50,000 since the World Series ended, but I took a month off. So, but the game's playing really big. 50,000 isn't that big in the game that I'm playing. So, but you know, I need to start putting in some hours. Most of the time I've taken off is because the pain that I'm dealing with, and you know, I think I told you guys I've started physical therapy. We're now on week 5 of physical therapy. I do feel like I'm getting some relief in my knee. And so I'm just doing all the exercises they told me. I bought an exercise strap, some bands, a ball. You know, I'm trying to do everything I can. I have put on about 20 pounds because I've been fucking lazy and eating like shit. And so that's about it, man. Let's see, it's 4:09. So we'll want to give the pick of the week. Yeah, let's give my pick of the week. So we'll go with the NFL. Like I said, we're 2-0, 3-0, depending on what you want. I try not to put out more than one a week. But sometimes I do have 2, and this week is also neither or. I have my best pick of the week. It's the Detroit Lions over the Atlanta Falcons, and I bought this down to 3 for $1K. Lions 3.5, and I just think Detroit is really good. I think they're that good. I think they caught Seattle. The 10 days off a lot of times really hurts teams. Even Kansas City scoring only 17 last week. For some reason, when I'll even remember, you know, it either hurts them or helps them. This week though, I thought it really hurt them, and Seattle was desperate. They lost a game against the Rams where they really struggled. I really, really, really like. I mean, what has Atlanta done? They were in a 10-10 game in week 1 against Carolina with a rookie quarterback that can't move the ball. I had bet Atlanta for $1K in that game on the money line because since 2002, number 1 picks quarterback were 0-13 straight up and gave their first game of the season. So, that's a big stat. And Atlanta didn't look that good in week 1. Last week, I mean, they beat Green Bay 25-24. Green Bay was missing like their best receiver and their starting running back were both out, plus 1 defensive player and an offensive lineman, and they still almost beat Atlanta. Fucking Atlanta is not going on the road to Detroit and winning. I just don't see it at all. They're averaging 24.5 a game, but they against who? They beat Carolina 24-10, and 14 points were because fucking Bryce Young threw 2 picks last week. I mean, they didn't. I don't think. I think Detroit's a much better team. I think they're going to clobber them. So that's pretty much my pick of the week. My other pick of the week is, and I had bet this already, is I laid Pick'em, but it's 2.5 now. And this I was really teetering on being my number one pick of the week, is Vegas against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's on a short week. Cam Hayward is out for sure. They lost their second best receiver, Johnson, in week 1. The offense looks horrible. The defense looks good. I just don't see Pittsburgh on a short week coming to Vegas and winning this game. I just don't. And and the Sharps moved this line 2.5 points, and this would have been my pick of the week at Pick'em, but because the line moved 2.5 points, I decided to, not put it out as my pick of the week. But yeah, I mean, Vegas was on the road in altitude. Then they had to go to Buffalo, who was desperate after they gave away that week 1 game. And you knew they were going to come strong. I actually had the Bills last week, but not as my pick of the week, just in my pick'em. But I expected Vegas to get crushed last week. And this week, I really think the Vegas is for sure the right side here. So those are it. That's the football. Yeah, I mean, you brought up Joe Burrow. He's looked like shit through 2 weeks, but it was pretty obvious that it's pretty obvious his calf is really bothering him. But he looked fine last week. He made the one throw on 3rd down in a double coverage. That was a 14-point swing because Baltimore took that interception, went right down and scored a touchdown. So they were a minimum of a 10-point swing. They lost the game by 3. So, Cincinnati easily could have won last week and been 1-1. They always lose to Cleveland a week. But my under 11.5 looks really good there. I really feel good about that. It was so funny why I threw this Cincinnati in as one of my picks before the season. It was the last second. Everybody kept saying, go over on Pittsburgh, go over on Pittsburgh, go over on Cleveland, go over on Cleveland. That's all I kept hearing. Oh, Cleveland's going to be the team to beat with Watson back. And Pittsburgh, they always finish with a winning record. They look great in preseason. Well, if those two are going to be over, somebody's got to go under. I looked at Cincinnati's schedule. They had like one of the top 4 toughest schedules. And I said, well, why go over 9 with those shitburger teams? Just go under 11.5 with the Bengals. I mean, look they went 0-2 to start the year last year. They had to win, to get to 12 games last year, they had to win 7 in a row. That's why I ended up going under there. I was like, why go over with Pittsburgh when I can go under with Cincinnati? So that's what I did there. Anyways, in the world of politics, we'll try not to talk too much. Joe Biden still can't put 2 sentences together. Danny, did you record his speech from yesterday for everybody?
I didn't, but I could pull it up again.
Oh, come on. So, Joe Biden went in front of the United Nations yesterday. In case you didn't hear his speech, it's really, really special. I mean, this guy can't put 2 sentences together. But if the moron MAGA fucking idiots, if the fucking moron fucking MAGA dumb fucks decide Trump is going to be our nominee, I just don't think we're going to win. Maybe I'm wrong, but they got so much shit on him. They could just run January 6th loops round and round and round. They could run all his lies round and round and round.
Here's the Biden thing.
Listen to this, guys. This was
Now,
Joe
we need to
Biden.
involve our institutions. Now, we need to involve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships Let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
Institutions, let me be clear, certain situations are... There you go. Say that again. Can we repeat that again? Let's hear it again.
Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
Okay. In our international, let me be clear. Certain systems are sacrosanct. All right. There you go. I think Obama's president too, by the way, Barry. I really do. I think Obama's 100% running the country. And because there's no way this guy's running the country. He can't even... This is every day. I mean, I could pull up 1,000 of them. And he was brain dead 3 years ago. I mean, I feel bad. I think it's elder abuse, man. It's totally elder abuse. So, that's what's going on in our politics. I try and stay away. I refuse to watch Fox News anymore because of what they did to Tucker. I heard they've gotten most of their audience back because people are just fake. They just they do their fake outage bullshit, and then they go back. But it was funny in the primetime slots last weekend for the number one age demographic of 24 to 55. CNN had 55,000 viewers. 55,000 viewers. 55,000 viewers. And we get sometimes 50,000 viewers on our podcast. They had 50, when they go over and after, we go through the things in the arcs and stuff, but not live. But I'm just saying, 55,000 viewers. Can you imagine that fucking fake news CNN has been exposed so poor, so bad, that 55,000 people out of 360 million people watch CNN? Goodbye, CNN. Have a nice day. Yeah. We're gonna treat the brainwashed libs like they deserve to be treated. Okay, Tucker's a liar. What has he lied about? Can you name one thing? Do 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 do. Exactly. Fox is left-leaning now. You should watch Fox, Barry. It fits right in your alley. You like to say, everything. Name one thing he's lied about. It's so good getting the fucking brainwashed people. Name one thing he's lied about. Everything. Oh, because MSNBC told me all he does is lie. He's a Putin puppet. January 6th, what has he lied about January 6th? He brought the fucking video showing how this guy was sent to jail for life for nothing, and they released him a week later. Next. Now, we're not going to deal with this because I know you can't come up with anything. You just regurgitate. So I should tell yourself something like, why am I so brainwashed? Why am I so brainwashed? I can't come up with anything. Yeah. Anyways, I don't, not really much going on in politics. There's 9,000 people a day coming across the border. 44% of all females that cross the border are sexually assaulted. Nobody gives a fuck. Well, you know how the border crisis has gotten so far out of hand? When the fucking actual Democrats, like the mayor of Frisco and the mayor of New York, is is talking about how this being a humanitarian disaster. So even though the media won't talk about it, you actually have two mayors of two big cities in San Francisco and New York actually saying that something needs to be done. But it doesn't really matter anyways. I don't give a fuck about Trump, okay? I care about fucking DeSantis or fucking Vivek getting the nomination. I'm all in on Vivek. I told you that. I've donated to his campaign. He's really busy. I'm going to have him on our podcast, I promise you. I think is truly, I mean, this guy is so smart. He is, like, he graduated from like Harvard or something with like a 4.5 GPA. That's why he's so great at talking. He's amazing, you know. But who cares? You're bringing up people I don't care about. Why don't you bring up Lauren Boebert too? Like, I care that she fucking had a guy feeling up her tits in a dark theater. I could give a fuck. Well, of course they're gonna find things that people fuck up of. And Vivek did make a couple mistakes. He even made a mistake on Israel, and you guys know how I'm all in on Israel because I'm Jewish and I'm very religious when it comes to that shit. And I didn't like the things he said about Israel, you know. But, you know, I think everybody makes mistakes. I literally had him talk to Matt Brooks, who's a very dear friend of mine, who's the head of the Republican Jewish Coalition. And he said their talks went good. So hopefully he'll figure that out and somehow get the nomination. I mean, I know there's a lot of pro-Trump people that listen to this thing, and I don't hate the guy, but if we want to win in 2024, we can't nominate him. And it ain't a Democrat talking point. It's a fact, okay? It's a fucking fact. There was a what was it, New Hampshire seat yesterday that Trump won by 22 points. And the guy went all in on MAGA and all in on Trump and lost the primary seat by 12 points yesterday. Or on Tuesday. So don't tell me how Trump's going to win. He's not going to win. It's the only reason why. Yeah, exactly, Kurt. The abortion comment the other day. He's trying to really play both sides of the fence because he doesn't want to back anything DeSantis did, like the heartbeat law, which I think is too extreme, by the way. You know, you got to be pro-life. I mean, I think 15 weeks is plenty, but the thing is we have. Why doesn't this is what I hate about Trump. Why doesn't the moron make an easy answer when they bring up, oh, what do you think about a federal ban on abortion, 6 weeks, 50? His answer should be, Roe versus Wade was overturned, so we return all the voting goes towards the states. There will be no federal abortion ban, no matter how many weeks. The states decide. Next question. That's what Roe versus Wade was. It sent the votes back to the states. But this moron Trump, he had to play both sides. Well, I think what DeSantis did was bad as a fucking heartbeat law. It was horrible. But we need to fight common ground. He's a fucking idiot. And anybody on my channel here that thinks Trump ain't a fucking idiot, you're a brainwashed MAGA person. That's just it, man. And I don't care if you don't follow me anymore. I mean, he is an idiot. I mean, it's about winning. What do you think? Now I know you're going to say, oh, well, he didn't get 81 million votes, blah, 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 blah. But they knew that Biden had the best chance to win. You had 19 fucking idiots running. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, Joe Biden. And they all jump behind Joe Biden, and they all dropped out. Why? Because they're all in for the party. Whatever the party tells them to do, they do. Now, it's not really democracy because you can't win, like RFK can't win the nomination in the Democrat Party because they have the super delegates and they decide. But, and that's why there'll never be another Trump, because they'll never let an outsider come in and win again. But he's an idiot, and we need to win. And if DeSantis, I'm all in on Vivek. I don't hate DeSantis. I think he's ran the worst campaign of all time. I mean, truly worst campaign of all time. But, somehow he's still worried the most about him, because he knows they have, if he's still worried the most about him and he's polling so low, there's a reason. So we'll see what happens. I'm with you, Alex. I think that the COVID changed so many laws. Now they got a lot of them changed back, but not enough. And you saw in Pennsylvania, there's no more voter registration. Everybody who gets a license can vote vote. And so they're going to do whatever they can to, with mail-in ballots or whatever, to get enough votes across the finish line. I know what's going on, but it doesn't matter. I think it's so fucking rigged that if anybody but Trump was a nominee, the GOP would win, and they'll say, see, I told you, anyone but Trump, and they want to make a point so the Trumpism never comes back again. This is the way I think. This is how I think. And I believe that no matter what, I told you guys my belief on COVID, if I believe COVID was released on purpose, they're never going to let Trump see the White House again. So just remember that, guys. Just remember that when you guys go and pull wherever state you're in the primary. Just remember, they'll never let Trump win a general election. It's okay. So, yeah, it is. My belief is nuts. That's why, like everybody on the fucking... Never mind. I'm not even going to go there. Fucking YouTube will fucking... They'll what's it called, my channel? Anyways, let's take some phone calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. We are live for at least the next 30 minutes. Take some phone calls. We'll talk about poker, politics, sports. The NBA is starting soon. We have about 1 month to go. The hockey defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights are about 3 weeks away, 22 days. And we'll see. What'd you do? You got a special line, Alex? You from 10.5 to 13.5? I actually think the Giants got a great shot tonight. I would be taking the points. And I'll explain to you why. It's not one of my picks. It's not even in my pick'em contest. The Giants win on Sunday was magical. I had 3 survivor picks with the Giants, and I thought they were gone. They're just miracle. And when you 0-1 and you didn't score you were outscored 60-0 through 6 quarters of a year, and you come back and you win a game like that. It's a big win. Welcome to the Mouthpieces. Mike, what's up?
Yo, Mike, this is Ryan DePaulo. I don't know if you know who I am or remember.
Of course I do. I follow you, man. How you been, man?
Thanks, dude. Good, man. I'm just hanging out here watching grinding.
Are you playing the WSOPs?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm playing this Turbo.
Oh, cool.
Deep Stack Turbo is the worst fucking combo of words for a structure of all time.
Deep Stack Turbo. I can't even.
Yeah,
what's it? Every 8 minutes or 10 minutes? When's it go up?
I don't even know, but it's like, yeah, we want all the play when.
Oh yeah, 50,000 deep. We're starting at quarter 50 with 50,000 and 10-minute levels. You have a Deep Stack Turbo. Oh, okay. After 2 hours, you got 10 big blinds. Oh, great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what it must. Either they're really dumb or it works for marketing because it's like so often they do that.
Look at WSOP. They're really dumb, okay? They have like the worst software. They've done nothing to expand anything about their software. If they don't run a bracelet event, there's like 10 people playing on their site. And it ain't, again, I don't want, they've done it. They do a good job at this series, running such a big event and stuff. But with online shit, they don't have a clue. They really don't.
Yeah, no, it sucks. It sucks online, and for them, I've been grinding. I've been playing a ton of ACR, who I'm a team pro for them because we're doing this contest.
Okay, cool.
I'm
good friends with Phil Nagy. We used to play in a private game together. But a lot of people don't like him. I like him. I think he's a good guy. And I'm a pretty good judge of character. I might be wrong, but who knows?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm obviously biased because he's given me a contract and changed my life.
Of course.
Made me a site pro of a poker site, so I think he's obviously the man.
Yeah, of course. So,
did you talk about the scammer guy at all? I didn't hear.
No, I'm glad you brought this up. Okay, so it's so funny. So I'll never forget this. I'm like, who's this fucking idiot saying I'm playing with 103 fever? I'm like, everybody's like, dude, Mike, he's got cancer. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. I'm like, what do you mean he's got cancer? Then I find out. I'm like, and then when the guy put out the porn star, oh, I felt sorry, you're cute, the porn star fucking tweet. I'm like, this guy's full of shit, right? And once again,
what was the porn star tweet? I don't know actually.
Oh, he put out. He goes, oh, I was sitting and hanging out at a bar, and some girl came up to me, and she says, I'm a porn star, and he's like, well, I'm not interested. Oh, you don't have to pay. I think you're cute. I'm just like, he put that out like a week after the series, and I'm like, this dude is full of shit. And the thing is why is the poker world so stupid and gullible? Why don't they just see? This is where I get so upset about. They're all in on solvers and all these things that they study, but they can't read a person. Like anybody's a real poker player can read people for a living, and like I'm never going back on the J4 hand. I know she cheated. I saw her body language. I saw how she reacted to the hand. And like Sean Deeb says, he's 100% she cheated. Fucking, I talked to Garrett. Garrett's like, oh, I'm even more sure now than I was then. Even Ryan said 40%, because people forgot. Like poker players, they want to believe things so bad, and they just.
Yeah, I think it's also like. Sorry, go ahead. You're like a live player, and all the players you named who agree with you or whatever, and talking about reading people, it's like you're from a live poker generation. It's
Correct.
Like we're all more autistic, introvert type of like numbers people that are like disconnected with social media and stuff.
Correct.
So. We're more likely to be scammed by some fucking asshole who just comes in and is like, I have cancer and porn stars like me.
Correct. And it's like you could if it doesn't. I read like lots of people tweets, right? And I can literally see even when I'm watching, like even like political tweets, whatever, I'm like, this is fake. This is fake. This didn't happen. And then I'll go and look it up. And sometimes I'm wrong, but almost every time, you know, it ends up being fake or a lie. And it's like, it's so, to me, it's just so easy to read through the lines of people. It's like, even when that thing happens, like Sean Deeb's like, Mike, what does your instincts tell you? And I said, my instincts told me she cheated. He goes, you're a good poker player, Mike. Follow your instincts. You'll always win. And so it's like, that's the thing. It's like, think about, Ryan, you play tons of tournaments, right? How many times do you make a call or a fold, but your instincts are telling you different? You don't follow them, and you're like, fuck, man, why didn't I follow my instincts, right? Your instincts are right. Yeah. Like, as a poker player, I would say 85% of the time. Like, if you just follow your gut, you're just going to be right. And a lot of times, like, the puzzle of a certain hand comes up in a spot that you start to doubt yourself, even though your instincts are saying he has it or he doesn't have it, right? And in those are the hands when you doubt yourself, you know, those are kind of the hands where you've got to fall back on the GTO and the solver type of situation, right? And but the people who are live poker players that are mostly live, they just say fuck it. Like Phil I can't even imagine how great Phil would be, not if he just played GTO but just learned, you know, just learn what other people. Can you imagine with Phil's instincts, like how good he could be? But unfortunately, you know, he just thinks he knows it all. And
my ROI is the best ROI in history. I'll say that.
What'd you say, Phil? Your what?
My ROI is the best ROI in history. I'll say that.
Oh, okay. And so, you know, so that's just, you know, that's just the thing. It's like, but his gut. I mean, his gut is like the best players in the world play with their gut. And if you see something online, your gut will tell you something doesn't sound right here, or something doesn't feel right here, and that's just it, you know. I can't even tell you how many times I didn't follow my gut in poker, and it cost me, you know. Just you're probably the same thing.
Those hurt a lot more than like.
Yeah.
And then it's a battle. Like those hurt so much more than anything else. Obviously, mistakes you make. Like, but when you know better and you don't do it, you feel like you should. Because
I mean,
I
think I lost 2 bracelets this year because I didn't follow my gut. You know, one hand that really crippled me in the 10K stud 8 this year was it went raise and 2 callers, and I was to bring in with a deuce, and I had 3-4 in the hole, so I deuce 3-4. But on the up cards, there were 2 aces and 2 5s, right? And you need aces and 5s to make straights, and you know, and so my gut said fold. And I said, well, you're getting 4-way action. If they could hit it with 3 people calling, there's a good chance they hit brick and you catch good, and you could just pick it up on 4th Street, right? So I go against my gut, which told me to fold. I make a pair of deuces. The first 2, the raise and the first caller hit a brick, and the third one in, who had a 5, hit a 4. They checked to him, he bet, I call, and the other 2 call and peel one off. And now I catch an ace. So I had ace, deuce, deuce, 3-4 in 5. The other 2 catch a brick, and the 4-5 hits a 7. And we check to him. He bets, I call. Now on 6th Street, I make 4s and deuces. He has an 8, so he's got 4, 5, 7, 8 showing. There's no 6s anywhere. You know, I know he's got a 6. You know, and now I have to call another big bet, and then I brick the river, and I lose pretty much half my stack there. That really hurt me because everybody was kind of short because we had a 3-hour bubble. And so if I just would have followed my instincts that said fold there, I might have won. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing happened in the 25K in Raz. I opened with a, what was it, ace, 5, 6, but there was a 5 and a 6 on the board, right? Now, you're first to enter, you're supposed to just kind of open, but like you pick up the antes. That's a lot of chips out there, especially when the average stack is 7 big bets. You know what I mean? But my instincts instantly said, "Oh, there's a 5 and a 6 on the board, fold," right? But instead, I open, I have a 7 draw versus a fucking made 9 and a worse 7 draw, and I brick that off. I lose $1 million of my I lose 800,000 of my 1.4 million, and now all of a sudden I'm kind of crippled. So it's like you got to follow your gut, and like I just, you just follow your gut. It tells you everything. But
yeah. No, can I ask you a Raz question actually?
Sure.
On a tangent about that hand?
Sure.
It might be boring. If they're showing 5-6, you're saying because they have such strong hands, likely that they're just drawing it better, or because?
Okay, so in Raz, it's all about live cards. Okay, if you have 1, 2, 3, and there's an ace, deuce, 3 on board, your hand is a monster because
you can't pair.
Likely,
right?
Correct. When there's a 5 and a 6 on the board, right, and I'm sorry, I did it wrong. Okay, when there was a 5 and a 6 on the board, and I needed a 5 and a 6, so I think I had I had it wrong. I told it to you wrong. I had ace 3, 4 or something like that, or maybe it was ace 4, 7, whatever it was. I needed the 2 cards that were on the board are the 2 cards I needed. So
that makes sense.
I had it backwards for you. I'm sorry. And so
I thought I was like Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't understand Raz.
Yeah. No, so when the cards on the board, you want cards to be on the board that you already have in your hand. So like ace deuce 3 is a monster when there's a 1, 2, 3 on the board. Deuce 3, 4 is a monster when there's a deuce 3, 4 on the board because it just is. So when your cards are live, you just want to jam it. One of the biggest mistakes Raz people make is they got 4, 5, 6, right? And they raise, but on the board is ace deuce deuce or ace deuce 3 or deuce 3, 7, right? So like when you have 4, 5, 6 there, what you're supposed to do is limp. And if it goes raise call late in a tournament, you could literally make a fold there. And I know it sounds crazy. Yeah. Oh, there's still plenty of this out and plenty of that out. But when you're deep in a tournament and in the limit tournaments, I don't know if you play many limits, but when the limit tournaments, the average bets are like 7 big bets. You call one hand and you have to go to the river, you're crippled. So it's real important for your cards to be live at all times. So, yeah, sorry I had it backwards on you there. No wonder you thought I was crazy.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
You mentioned a 3-hour bubble. I want to know, I don't know, again, we could change the topic if this is an interesting.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that people in recent years are getting much better on the bubble at like stalling and stuff? It's like,
they were saying that people stall a lot in the, I'll switch off to this wasn't the bubble. This was on that one, that was what we had. The 3-hour bubble was in the 25K, and it totally destroyed the horse tournament because average stack was like five big bets because we had 3.5.
After that, it sucked after a long tank.
And so we went from 15 to 2. They went from 15 to 2 in 3 hours and 15 minutes. So it really kind of sucked, But going back to the stud 8 10K is one table had 6 and we had 6. And all the fucking lunatics were at one table and our table had all the best players. So we're like, okay, everybody at our table is going to be like raise, fold, raise, call, fold. And then we figured 3 of them at the other table would go broke really fast. We'd get down on the 9-handed and like I had 800,000 and I was short I was sitting with 2 big bets for like 8 levels of this tournament. And all of a sudden I've got 800,000 at the 20, 40,000 in the first level of day 3. And I'm on 20 big bets. And, for me to beat Mike Madison out of 20 big bets in stud 8 or better is going to be tough, and unfortunately, I flopped 2 wheel draws and bricked both of them. Couldn't beat a pair of 4s on the end, and then the other wheel draw was the one where I just told you about, which also hurt me. But we were playing 40 and 80 by the time that 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 forehand came up. So if the 3 of the 6 busted at the other table like we thought would happen, we expected to be down at the final table in an hour and then be a long battle. And unfortunately, that really hurt me a lot. And so that's what happened there. And then in a 25K horse, we had a 3.5 hour bubble. Josh Aria hits a 2-outer against me, and that 2-outer allowed him to have 1.2, and everybody at the table behind him, nobody had over 400, and we were playing 40, 80, 500, 100K big blind, 120 big blind, and 160K big blind. Okay, and nobody had behind him over 400. So Josh was able to literally open every hand in the hold'em, every hand in the stud that he had an up card. Because it was a $42,000 bubble, and if he doesn't hit the 2-outer against me, I'm able to open all those hands, and I probably win the tournament instead of him. So, and you know how poker works.
Yeah, no, it's insane how dynamic each spot with ICM is. Do you think in the last couple of years, as a mixed game player, and great mixed game player, have those games gotten as much? I know Hold'em is evolve faster than
yes,
the others.
They've gotten tougher. Okay, much tougher, but they still. And a lot of people are asking me, should I open a teaching site on split games, Omaha 8, Stud 8? And I've thought it through many times if I could make enough money. You know what I'm saying? If I could make $1 million off of it, it'd probably be worth it, But, I make a final table of an Omaha 8 or a Stud 8 every year. So, I understand some things about the game, and it's about spots, right? In a split game with a small ante, you don't have to take those really close spots. Like I took that spot with deuce 3-4 when 2 aces and 2 5s were out, and my gut screamed fold, right? It's I don't need to take the spots when the antes are so small. And if that's a cash game, of course I'm calling, but in a tournament, you have to. When 4 of the cards you need to make your hand are out, you could say, well, there's still 3 aces and 3 5s left. But when 3 people call, chances are they, the one of the guys that calls probably has an ace or a 5 in his hand. You see what I'm saying? And it just makes it was a mistake on my part. And I'm when I called, I'm please don't punish me for calling here. I tell myself this. So that's going against my gut in the first place. If I just go with my gut, this shit don't happen.
What's the oldest hand that's still in your highlight reel of pain? How far back does
the most painful hand all of forever will be the main event final table when I got kings against aces for 85% of the chips in play, and
that's pretty painful.
Well, it's because I win the hand. I have 80 I think 83% of the chips in play 8-handed.
Oh my God.
So it's basically over. And I was still able to come back and be top 5 in chips when I picked Daneman off of a bluff with 10s when the board came deuce 3-5 and I let out and he moved in on me, and I looked him right in the eyes and told him he had ace jack, and I called him with 10s and he had ace jack, and then the 4 hit, make him a straight. I wasn't even thinking about the 4. I was just thinking no ace, no jack. You know what I mean? And so I finished 9th in that tournament, maybe 1 out of 1,000 times. So, it was pretty brutal. That was the one. That one sticks in my mind the most. As far as mistakes go, in the 6 Max 10K this year, a mistake I made was so unforgivable that I still think about it. You know, it's like guy's got like 900K in chips. He's opening like every hand, right? But it was the first hand back after the break, and he had just lost a big one, so he was down there about, I'd have to say around 600, and maybe lost two big ones. So the first hand back after the break, he just opens under the gun, and I got ace 10 offsuit, and I 3-bet really big. I had 120,000, so I 3-bet. He opened to we were playing 5 and 10,000. He opened to 20. I make it 52. He moves in. And by making it like, or maybe it was 4 and 8. 4 and 8. He opened to 16, and I made it 52. I way oversized it on the 3-bet, and now I committed to myself. And he had queens, and that hand really bothered me a lot because I knew it's just not a spot. Like there's so many late position raises that he could make that I could 3-bet with dog shit. I don't need to come after an under the gun open first hand after break. A lot of people say you're too hard on yourself, Mike. You know, he's got all the chips, he's opening a lot of hands. But the way I don't, you know, the way I play poker, I just feel like I could take a different spot. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I did the same exact thing to myself in a tournament in Florida this year, and was really like I 3-bet and then didn't really. I made myself have to call.
Yeah.
Once because I fucked up the size, and then
Yeah.
once he jailed, same thing, and then he had queens, and I was like, what am I doing?
Now I came back. I got 39th in the 3K horse like the next day, and I had a good chance there. I took a ridiculous fucking beat there, but it doesn't matter. That 10,000, the 6 max 10K. There's so much money in that fucker for up top, and I had 20 big blinds starting the hand. There's so many other spots I could have took, and you know, a lot of people say, you did nothing wrong or whatever, but I just think that with my tight image, I could take a much better spot, and and that's
also, I think it's better for us to be. You are hard on yourself. It sounds like, because it's not that bad. But I'm like you, where I think it's better. I'd rather be too hard on myself like you are than the delusional people who just stay losing or like, I got fucked or whatever.
Every one of them. I could tell you. I don't want to name any names, but I could tell you two pretty top poker players. Like whenever they get knocked, they think they're top poker players, but whenever they get knocked out, it's always a bad beat. They never take responsibility for, maybe I could have fucking folded this hand and found a better spot. It's always like, I got it all in. I had jacks, he had ace king. I flopped a jack and a 10, and he rolled a queen off. Oh, what's so brutal? But you got all your money in with jacks, like fucking 100 big blinds, and you're whining how unlucky you are. It's like, and again, we all know who the losers are that always make excuses how unlucky they are. I didn't get unlucky one tournament at the World Series this year, except for one of the hands when I was head up for the bracelet, but I misplayed 2. The 2 I misplayed, I got punished for. The 2 he misplayed, he got his money back on, like he chopped. So, but who cares? Like if I don't make the 2 mistakes I make, the guy's never beating me. I don't care how good he played, And so, listen, I take responsibility, and you have to win at poker. I'm gonna have to let you go and take another call because I want to watch the football game. But you got to take responsibility for your mistakes. As long as you do that, you'll be a winning player. You know this. Thanks for calling, Ryan. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Dude, thanks, man. Thanks for talking for so long.
You're welcome. Later.
See you soon. Bye.
All right. 702-329-0480. I had a long talk there because Ryan's a pretty much top online player. He's won a lot. He just won. I think he won a recent tournament somewhere, but he's a smart guy.
Hey, Mike.
What's
How
up?
you doing, man?
What are you doing? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. What are you up to? Who's this?
It's me, Drew. Yeah.
Drew, what's going on?
I'm listening to your thing. You're talking about gut instinct. So what I wanted to talk about was GTO coaching scammers. They're trying to tell you how to read a computer. I mean, you can get these at GTO solvers.
Yeah.
And you got little thing. Anybody, they're pretty cheap, right? But they're trying to grift you. And the video that was in circulation the other day, it was a Hustler Casino with Doug Polk against what they call a crypto whale. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this hand where he has pocket aces? The crypto whale has ace jack.
No.
And have you seen this hand?
No, but I'll look it up now that you brought it up.
Okay, I'll describe it. The crypto. Doug Polk is stuck in the game for $300K. They're playing really big. They got $1 million on the table. So the guy at the hijack position,
volume, yeah,
he three bets from with his ace jack.
Okay,
and then Doug Polk, 4 bets. They get to the flop.
Well, and there's here, first thing's this, right? When you 3-bet with ace jack, okay, and a guy 4-bets you, okay, your image is pretty much everything. People are never 4-betting me because they think when I 3-bet,
I want to know what your instinct.
I always have.
Tells you. Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to know what your instinct tells you.
Go ahead.
Because the crypto wells kind of go off this thing. So it comes, the board comes down like there's a queen. Like on the turn, there's like a flush draw. The guy has ace jack of the crypto whale. Remember they call him a crypto whale against the greatest in the world, Doug Polk, with pocket aces. Anyway, so there was like on the turn, there's maybe he has a possibility of a flush draw, right? Diamonds.
Okay.
So you get to the river, it's a big old blank. Maybe like if you had a straight, right? Like maybe some weird straight. But it's pretty much a rainbow.
So what was the board? Like a 4, 6, 8 jack board?
And then Doug Polk tanks forever. He puts on this big Hollywood thing, and he goes, oh, well, he goes to the GTO, the tree, which he's correct on. But it's a crypto whale. And he says, well, if I have a spade, a spade, I think a club or a spade and a heart in his hand, ace, spade, ace, club. Yeah. So he says he's going to shuffle the thing, and he's going to draw. If he draws a spade, then he's going to fold. So he draws a spade, the ace of spades. So he folds his aces. They're both in for over $1 million. But it's a crypto whale. Mm-hmm. How the fuck do you fold your aces in a cash game against a crypto whale?
I did see this hand. I did see this hand.
Okay, how can you do that when you're as deeply rolled as Dougie is supposed to be? He's supposed to be this killer.
When the guy jams on him there, it's like he doesn't beat anything. I remember this hand, and I mean because of the. I was thinking because of the way the hand went that he's going to call. What? All right, but I honestly don't really fucking fall. Just because he's a whale. Just remember, bad players can make hands. Okay?
Tells you I get it.
I actually like the fold in this hand, if I remember right. Okay.
The solver says fold the hand. But if you're deep stack, online killer going against what they call a crypto whale. I mean, I don't know what whales mean.
I mean, in all fairness, I understand Doug's a douchebag, but like if all, I don't mean that like literally, but he's
okay. What does Chip Reese do in that situation there?
The truth of the matter is if I'm locked, I'm locked in.
What does Doyle do in that situation?
I don't go by players or whatever. If I'm locked in, my instincts are going to tell me what to do.
He was doing what the solver told him. Everybody in there said he called this guy a crypto whale. He's a whale. And the whale's a whale.
I do remember this hand.
They're going to blow money.
This hand happened around 3 weeks ago. So
no, it happened like 3 months ago.
3 months, yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, weeks and months go by quick.
And now everybody with a solver trying to pimp it out on YouTube is giving this an example of how you should buy their solvers. Now, if you're going to do solvers, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. You get them for free. You get solver quizzes for not free, but for a reasonable price, like $20 a month or on $900 for like your lifetime. You don't need to be paying some douchebag to tell you what the solver's telling you. Right?
Going back to what
idea that you got to understand, like you always talk about your gut. You just went off talking about your gut.
My gut.
Your gut should tell you, as a seasoned poker player, you call the crypto well when he goes all in on the crappy board like that.
I mean, I don't go by the solver. I don't run what the solver tells me. If the line the guy took, if I remember, Doug bet the river and the guy jammed on him, and I just feel like the way they played the hand that he almost had to fold in that hand.
What hand would you put him on? Queens?
I think I told myself.
You have to put him on queens. You have to put him on exact hand of queens. How many combos? Let's go into the solver. How many combos of queens could he have?
I don't go by combos.
There.
You know how many arguments I've had with Daniel over combos and solvers? What does your gut tell you?
Combos and the equity on the combos. We get into this thing. You still make that goddamn call as a crypto whale doing it. You're putting him on what? A handful of hands that he could have? Because he's not going to have any kind of suited connectors. He's not going to have any low pocket pairs. He's going to have that queen.
That was it.
So you always call the aces in that situation, especially if you're playing a cash game. It's not a tournament. He can buy back in. He's deep pockets, Doug Polk. Right?
Hey, hang on 1 second for a minute. Calm down for a second. I remember the hand, and because my memory is so shitty, I had a specific take on the hand. I don't know if it was, I think he should have called, or I'm pretty sure I said to myself, if I had his hand, I would have folded. But I also said to myself, I think the guy jammed on Doug all in. And I think I told myself that I might have.
Yeah, wait. He's all in. I'll give you the number. He's all in.
Didn't he turn like a gutter ball with 2 over?
He's all in for $400K and $1 million pot.
He called a huge bet with a. He called
you already have $1 million in the pot. Your deep pockets. If you make a bad call, well, you'll be back again because your deep pockets, Doug Polk. You're the ace of the fucking thing, right? You're the sharpshooter of the poker world, right?
Yeah.
He only did it because he was on camera. He only did it because he didn't want to fucking get bested. And then everybody who has interest in selling solvers, they make it like, oh, it was a great fold when it's a stupid fold. When you have a $330K call for $1.2 million profit.
They argue.
No. You make the call. If your gut's telling you to fold there, then you've lost it. Right. You got to make that call.
All right. I got to get another call before the football starts. Right. I'll talk about it. Take care. Thanks for calling. Going back to like the fight that I had with Berkey and Daniel and Doug Polk about when Mariano jammed the aces on the river, right? When the 8 of hearts hit against Jungle Man. I don't care that the solver says you print 24,000 profit over the long run. The long run doesn't mean shit. When Jungle calls 33% of his stack on the turn, okay, it could be a regular king queen for sure. But it just looks like a draw. He played it like a draw. When the 8 of hearts hit, it's just King Queen's not calling 80K on the river. I thought it was a definite mistake, but the solver said it wasn't. So all right, have a nice day. See if we can get another call here before football starts in 5 minutes. So you watch that hand when. Jungle was very uncomfortable calling that 40K of his 120 on the turn. He felt he was beat. When that 8 of hearts hits the river, Jungle's a great player. And he's probably not calling another 80K with King Queen or even Ace Queen is the only hand you're targeting in that hand. I thought it's a clear check back and an 86K punt by Mariano. But what do I know? I play by feel. There was in the last term of the year, the 5K, I think I brought it up on one of the podcasts. Guy raised under the gun. I saw him folding to a lot of big 3 bets, and my image was super tight, so I 3-bet it to 33K. Guy who just sits down, crazy a euro with 400,000 in chips, then fucking 4-bet jams on me 133,000 more, and my gut was screaming to call, screaming with my 2 9s, and he said he'd tell me what he'd have when I went broke. When I went broke, he told me he had 2 6s. I believe him because I've never seen the guy before. And he said, if I knew you played so solid, I would have never done that. That's what I do is I use my image. I play tight, use my image, and pick my spots to pick up chips. That's just how I play poker. That's how Phil Hellmuth plays poker. And the new generation, they play poker by solver and poker by GTO. I've said it before a million times. If you play lots of hands, it's a lot harder. A lot of people call you down. It's harder to bluff. If you set an image out of really tight and the blinds go up and all of a sudden you start 3-betting left and right and opening a lot of pots. Oh, Mike has it. Mike's so tight, he has it. But even when I had those 2 9s, my gut was screaming call, and I didn't. And then going back to the same convo we had with Ryan DePaulo, my gut was screaming call, and I didn't. And if I called there, now I'm sitting at 340,000 at 5K big blind, or 10. What was it? 10? Yeah, 5K big blind. And now that guy ended up finishing 5th in the tournament, by the way. I probably finished 5th. So got to go with your gut, man. People ask, what's the best thing poker advice I could give you? I always say, play tight and follow your gut. You just can't go. You can't go wrong playing tight and following your gut. Just really can't. And but also use your image, man. If you're playing tight, use that image. I got called in this one hand today in the No Limit Dues, where I called this huge re-raise by Alex Livingston, and I just was so sure he had a 10 that I called drawing to a 9, 2, 3, 4, 9. I was positive he had a 10. And the river, he bets the river, and I jammed on him. He went, oh, this is going to take 3 minutes. Oh. He goes, are you using your image, Mike? Are you using your image, Mike? And he called me with a 10-8. It's like, yeah, I was using my image, but maybe I gave something away. A couple people who were at the table told me it was because it took me so long to call the re-raise pre that he felt that maybe I was drawn to an 8 and I wouldn't jam an 8. I would have jammed an 8 or a 9 on him. I thought he had nothing. I thought he had a 10. My read was right. So you got to use your image to make plays, to balance out your bluffs. I mean, can you imagine always having an image that Mike always has it, and they're just folding it to you every time you 3-bet or 4-bet them, or every time you raise them on the turn? I mean, it's just, they think I'm so tight in my game, and it's gotten to the point now. I think I've showed them about 25 bluffs in a row. And they're like, I don't care. I'm not paying you off. Okay, you don't have to pay me off. I'll just keep showing you bluffs. But, do I think I probably could play 5%, 10% more hands? Yeah, sure. But you ever heard the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So things, my poker game I feel really comfortable with. Anyways, my pick of the week is the Detroit Lions. I bought them down to 3. I have 1K on them. I also bet 1K on the Raiders. my third favorite pick was Seattle at 4.5 over Carolina. It moved to 6. But now that the kid's not playing Bryce Young, I don't like the game because Dalton is definitely better than Bryce Young. I mean, Bryce Young might be great, but right now he's not very good. He's a rookie. So staying off that game. Pick of the week, Detroit Lions. We will be back next Thursday or Friday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy football. And there you go. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Thanks for listening to The Mouthpiece. See you next week.
The Mouthpiece.